So I'm just finishing up a workout here at the gym, and I was having a conversation with a client. And there are 5 things I wish I knew when it comes to fat loss that if I could go back in time, I would tell my younger self, save myself a ton of headache, ton of stress, ton of failure along the way. And so today I want to give you the rundown of exactly what you should be doing, especially if you want to get in shape this year to avoid a lot of that same headache. The first thing, all right, is understanding that your timeline in your head for getting ripped, however long you think it's going to take, is more than likely way less than the actual time that you're looking at in terms of getting in shape. Back when I was 65 pounds overweight, and I've experienced the same thing with thousands of guys that I've worked with now over the past 15 years. In fact, over 7,500 guys. And I always tell them early on, like, whatever number is in your head in terms of how long you think it's going to take to get in shape, I would triple it. I can remember being overweight. Now, I didn't know I was 65 pounds overweight, just for the record. I thought I probably had to lose 30 pounds, 25 pounds at the most, and I'd be super shredded, maybe even less than that. And I figured the timeline was probably somewhere in the range of 6 weeks. 6 weeks to get super diced. And this is back in my early 20s. And I can remember 6 weeks in going, man, it doesn't even look like I've made any changes. And I started to just get a little bit frustrated, but then I kept pushing. I don't know what drove me forward besides the absolute 100% desire to be ripped. But I can also remember 18 weeks in, so we're talking triple that, man, I was still not ripped, all right? And you might be thinking, well, geez, dude, like, why did you keep going? Well, keep this in mind. I was 65 pounds overweight. Now, looking back at the data, 18 weeks in, I lost about 30 pounds, all right? So that's a lot of weight. That's more than, you know, that's almost 2 pounds a week, which is significant. And 18 weeks in, I made the decision to just go all in and say, all right, I'm going to stop worrying about the time. I'm just going to do what I need to do for as long as it takes. And I was fortunate enough to have amazing coaches back then. But what I can tell you is that the timeline in your head is way shorter than what it's probably going to take to get in shape. All right, especially if you're trying to get ripped abs. And this is just something you need to understand, that the reason why our brains feel this way is because we think it took a very short period of time to get out of shape. In our minds, it's like, man, it feels like it's been like, man, 6 months of eating bad. When in reality, it could be decades. We work with guys in our program who tell me, hey, I have not been consistent since my 20s, and they're in their 50s now, right? So we're talking 30 years. 30 years of not eating great. That adds up over time. The average guy gains about 3 to 4 pounds a year of body fat, all right, that he doesn't lose over the course of his life. So if you've been at that for 10 years, that's 40 pounds, man. Right? 10 years. Now, the good news here is you don't have to worry about it taking that same amount of time to lose the weight. Typically, if you do the right things, which, by the way, I put together a whole shred after 30 checklist. So if you're in your late 30s, 40s, 50s, you'll want to download this. It's absolutely free. Just comment the word shred below this video, and I'll send you a link to join our free coaching group where you'll get that resource, the over 30 shredded checklist, plus tons of other ones, including my top 100 10-minute workouts. Just comment the word shred below this video, and I'll send you the link. The second thing is, I thought I couldn't enjoy normal things like a normal person and still get ripped. I was wrong, all right? I lived like a monk for months at a time, not missing meals, not missing workouts, not missing cardio sessions, not enjoying anything outside of my just day-to-day 9 to 5 and my bodybuilder style routine. And I'm not going to lie, I got to single-digit body fat doing that. Years later, okay, in fact, a couple years ago, because I do this every summer, I get down to below 10% just for fun. I say for fun. It's not fun for everybody because it does take a lot of discipline to get below 10%. That's extreme. But what I can tell you is that every time I do it, I still enjoy my life because I've learned what actually matters. The big rocks: movement, muscle, meals. Got to move enough, got to track meals, got to hit certain calorie and protein targets, and I got to hit certain step goals. If I do those things, I'm going to get ripped. It's guaranteed. I've never had a year where I haven't done those things consistently for 6 to 8 weeks and dropped a significant amount of body fat and looked the way I want to look. I still enjoy a couple drinks with my wife here and there. I still enjoy date nights. I still enjoy pizza with my kids, birthday cake with my kids. I still go to the movies and have a little popcorn, like all the things that I enjoy in my life. I've just learned how to do it. And the only thing stopping you from living like a normal person and looking abnormal, meaning looking ripped, fit, healthy, all the things that are going to make you the confident person you want to be. The only thing stopping you is an understanding of how to do it. Because really, when you understand the big rocks, what actually moves the needle, this stuff gets crazy easy, man. Like crazy easy, okay? And at times, you're going to almost be like, wow, like, is it really this simple? You're going to start to question yourself, and that's a whole other discussion because shiny object syndrome comes into play. The next thing I wish I would have understood is that fat loss does not really happen in the gym. It's all about what you do outside the gym. I used to go to the gym and spend literally 2 hours in the gym. I was there, I can remember, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. like clockwork every single night. Now, I didn't have kids back then, didn't have a career that required a lot of work like I do now with coaching thousands of guys on their own transformation, which, by the way, you can check out our program. It's in the description below if you're interested. But back then, I didn't have these kind of responsibilities. So I would spend hours in the gym, hours and hours and hours. And while that time taught me a lot, it wasn't a complete waste of time because I learned a ton about training, about fitness. That was really my doctorate in how to actually do things the way I teach to do them now, which is nowhere near 2 hours in the gym. We have guys who train for 10 minutes, you know, a few times a week just to maintain, just to make small steps forward because that's all the time they have. But that time I spent in the gym was really from a place of thinking the more I'm in the gym, the more I'm losing fat. And that's just not true. Workouts at most burn a few hundred calories. What you're doing in the gym is you should be building strength, muscle, flexibility, mobility, endurance, functionality. So like a body that can move through different ranges of motion. You know, if you're into hybrid training and you're training your cardiovascular system, muscle endurance, it's really just to become a better performance athlete. And I know the word athlete's going to scare you because you're like, well, I don't know if I'm an athlete. Dude, you're an athlete. Your body and health are required to provide. So you are an athlete, okay? Whether or not, you know, you think you are or not, I promise you, you are. You may not be playing in the NFL or the NBA, but you're playing the game of life. And so life moves fast and we got to make it count. And the best way to do that is to be an athlete, meaning training our bodies to handle the stress of life. Okay, so what we do outside the gym is what really matters. Our movement outside the gym, our meals outside the gym, our sleep, which is, by the way, the next thing that I want to share with you. The number 4, I wish I would have known that sleep is like recharging our phone battery, but it's our body battery. You know, back then, man, I used to skip on sleep and it was hard. So think about this story for a second, right? You know that story where you wake up, you forgot to plug your phone in, and now it's on like 19% battery. And so all day you're having to charge it somewhere, right? As soon as you start using it, you get that notification, low battery, what do you want to do, right? And it's like, I'm constantly looking for a place to charge it. I'm constantly having to sit down. I'm constantly having to plug it in and like, oh man, I can't reach for my phone because it's plugged in over there. We've all been there, right? We live on our darn phones and it's a problem because that's just the way the world is, but that's a whole nother discussion. This is what happens when you don't get enough sleep. You're constantly stressed all day with more appetite swings, low energy, not feeling in control of your diet, not feeling like you want to do much. Your motivation starts to suffer drastically, and you just don't feel locked in because you didn't recharge the battery. Now, I'm not going to tell you to get 8 hours of sleep a night. I think for a lot of you, that might be unrealistic with all the things you have going on in your life. What I'm going to tell you to do is get into a routine as fast as you can. Get to bed at a decent time. The rule of thumb is get to bed before 11. You don't have to get up at 5 a.m. unless that's what's required to train. If you need to get up at 5, I would highly suggest getting to bed at 10, 10:30 and getting to sleep, getting that 6.5 to 7.5 hours of sleep. But get into a consistent routine. That's the most important thing. Get at least 6.5 hours of sleep, get into a consistent routine so you're going to bed and waking up at the same time, even on the weekends. That's going to make you feel so much better. If your body's in a routine, you will feel more in control. Your appetite's going to really take a hit, meaning you're going to want to eat everything if you're not sleeping enough. You're going to feel like crap. And when you feel like crap, you're not going to want to stick to the game plan, even if it is a simple and easy game plan. I wish I would have known that back in the day because it would have made fat loss so much easier. The last thing I'm going to tell you, well, I say last thing, I got a bonus thing at the end, so don't leave. One of the big things, and you know, this is like really, 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 really important. Okay. Getting in shape for a lot of us is a stepping stone and a gateway into improving all areas of our life. And the reason I'm telling you that is because when you get abs, things don't stop once you get abs. You're not going to all of a sudden cross this finish line of fitness and be like, wow, I did it. Now I'm done. It's not how it works. I've made this mistake, guys. The first time I ever got abs, I ballooned back up. Right after I got abs, I was fat again within a few weeks because I went back to all the crap I was doing before. All the unrestricted eating, all the poor movement choices, meaning sitting around too much, bad sleep, drinking too much, partying too much, all the things that I was doing back in my younger days. But the lesson here is I thought I crossed the finish line. I thought I got abs and like that was it. Fitness is done. I checked the box. Fitness is like drinking water. It improves everything you do. Why would you want to stop? Why would you want to quit after you crossed an imaginary finish line? Instead, what I want you to picture is a mountain. You climbed a mountain, but when you got to the top of the mountain, which by the way takes a great deal of effort, you did it, you crushed it, you're so proud of yourself, everybody's proud of you. All of a sudden, you're feeling euphoric, the dopamine, it's just hitting you like crazy. And when you get to the top of the mountain, you look around and what you expect to see is everything below you, everything that you left behind. And you expect there to be some celebration around like the fact that you've checked the fitness box now. But instead what you see is all these other mountains, all these other peaks. But what that should tell you is that you can get to those peaks if you decide to. All right, because fitness is a journey and it includes a lot of adventures. And the reason I say this is because I hope to speak to those of you who are serious about investing in your health. You know, over the past 15 years, I've worked with thousands of guys and some amazing women too, who have completely transformed not just their body, but their life in the process. We live by a code, and that is life moves fast, make it count. As a father, as a husband, I want to show up for myself first and foremost. Don't get it twisted. I want to look good. I want to look good naked. I want to feel good about my body. I want to be ripped. I want to have some muscle. I want to be athletic, all those things. But why? Why do I want to feel great about myself? Well, it's so that when I'm in every situation that matters, I'm showing up and I'm feeling confident in my ability to deliver as a person. Meaning I want to be a light in a dark world. I want to be somebody who my kids look to and say, man, my dad raised me right. Someone my wife can look to and say, man, I could rely on my husband and he was a great man. My employees, my coworkers can say, man, that he led with empathy, he led with humility, but most importantly, he led with action. That's what I want. And I'm sure you're watching this thinking, I want that too. And what I can tell you is that successful winners invest in themselves consistently. I'm still investing in myself today. I invest in coaches left and right. And so I strongly believe in coaching. You're never going to talk me off that hill because I believe coaching is the fastest way to speed up time. We call it collapsing time, where you get to the goal 10 times faster than you would have than doing it on your own. But anyway, I share all that to say I have a resource for you. It's our over 30 shredded checklist. It's a great place to start. It's a one-page document that is going to tell you exactly what to do. So you can just check the boxes, man. It's that simple. If you want that, comment the word shred. If you're interested in our coaching system where we actually take guys through this whole process with direct coaching and community support, so you have a network around you to get you to where you want to go, your fight club, right? Your team, the people in your corner. If you want to learn more about that, check out our program below. It's the True Transformation System. We've helped over 7,500 people over the past 15 plus years, and we'd love for you to be next. In the meantime, check out this video I have up here. This is a good next step to learn more about this process that we call transformation. I think you'll get a lot out of it. So click that one, and I'll see you over there. Life moves fast. Make it count. Peace.